So if you've ever wanted to have a chat with me and a cup of coffee, this video is where you need to be. It is the most unscripted, unedited video, and probably one of the most that I've ever made. So I wanted to talk to you about some things that I feel like I've never told you, or that maybe you don't know about me. Either I haven't shared them or I've wanted to share them and I've just been scared to. And so this video is kind of like, we need to talk. And there's no better time to do it than now. But I had some other videos planned to come out and I kind of just put the brakes on it because I had them in editing and I was watching them and I was like, man, you look so exhausted and I know that I feel so tired, and I wanted to tell you what probably has been causing it and get, I guess, your advice on that. So don't forget to comment below at some point in this video. And also I'm going to share some things with you so you can head over to RVersity.com to find those. And if we haven't officially met and you're like, who is this chick? What is she rambling about? I'm Blogging Brandi, the creator of this channel, and RVersity, my university for RVers and community for RV lovers like yourself. So again, if that resonates with you, please head over to RVersity.com, but also like this video and subscribe to this channel and tap that little bell icon so you're notified each and every time I publish a new video, because I do make a lot of very polished and pretty videos where I don't look like a hot mess that I just woke up. And again, I don't know if I told you this because this is probably the 50th time I've tried to start this video, but I started working on this video at 2:23 a.m. and I'm not really an early person, but for some reason I wake up early in the morning lately. And so I don't even know where to start, other than if you think I'm rambling and I'm all over the place, that's okay, because I made all of these notes about the things that I want to say, so it won't be as all over the place. But long story short, if you don't know my story, I will drop a link to that in the description below this video, along with all the other things that I mentioned in this video that you can check out. So please watch until the end of this video, because there's a lot of things that I want to tell you. And so this video is really for my truebies, not necessarily not for the newbies, but this is for people that follow me and maybe you've had a chat with me, or you've connected with me in some way, or you follow me in a different way, or you followed me for a really long time, should I say. So the first thing that I want to mention is I didn't start this channel until probably 2 years after I started RVing. So I felt really behind, should I say, or like I couldn't talk about my RV life. And there's so many reasons that have led to that. And even recently, in the last couple of years, I feel so behind on my content and on the things that have happened that I have not shared with you or not shared on this channel, because I do have multiple YouTube channels. And before I started RVersity, I had other YouTube channels and businesses, and I was an entrepreneur and digital nomad. I was not just purely out to start talking about my RV life. It was something that happened and I started to share about my RV life, and it turned into a business, should I say. So my passion turned into a profit, but it took different turns. And so I kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about why I feel almost like I have this solo female RV living double life, should I say, triple life maybe, or quadruple life. And so first thing is, when I mentioned that I couldn't start my YouTube channel for the first 2 years or so, and if you see these random animals running through, if you don't know, I have 5 dogs and 1 cat, and they are usually somewhere in the videos, so I'm sorry about that. That's Crypto running around. He's up for adoption, actually. If you want to adopt him or Petunia, you can head over to birdiesdoghouse.com. Again, I'll drop links to that below this video, but I do have a little dog rescue that you may not know about. But I made some vlogs about the rescue of him. It wasn't on this channel because it wasn't necessarily all RV related. Again, which is kind of why I feel this weird pull in my life. So about not 2 years ago, but when I said it took me about 2 years before I started sharing my RV life, part of that was because One, when I started my RV life ended within the first 4 months of beginning. So I had 6 RVs, and I had a travel trailer, a van, a motorhome, travel trailer, van, and right now we currently have 2 RVs. And so if I say we and you don't know, I have a boyfriend of 9 years, going on 10. And so, yeah, like I said, if you don't know my story, I will drop a link to it below this video. You can watch that and check that out and learn more about me and why I RV and all of those fun things. And so there's a lot that's transpired. I also shared an updated version of my story on my Blogging Brandi YouTube channel. And again, I feel all over the place in telling you about this because there is more to me than just my RV life that exist. And another thing about me that you might not know, for some weird reason, I've been blessed with this rhyming ability. So whenever I write or talk, I seem to rhyme things. I have no idea where that came from or why I do that, but God's blessing in my life. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so NDA is the first thing that I wanted to tell you about, or the first thing I have on my notes here. So when I went through my very first travel trailer, I lost it within the first 4 months. I got into a horrible accident, and it was totaled along with my tow car, and then I had to spend about a year doing insurance claims and going to doctor's visits, and it was just a really bad situation. So my RV life was essentially like put on hold. I moved in with my boyfriend, and well, I was selling my condo at the time when this happened. So then I moved in with my boyfriend, and then I kind of felt the need to RV or have my space still, and I think he was probably feeling the same way. And so I bought a van about a year later, but then it ended up being a lemon, so I ended up getting another one. But during that transition in between the 2 vans, it was not good. Me personally, I was not forced to sign an NDA. So actually the NDA was slid to me, and I slid it right back instead of not signing that. But someone else in my party agreed to sign this document. So I was not allowed to talk about the events of my RV life in my van for literally a year to 2 years that it was happening. So I was paying for this thing, and all these things were happening behind the scenes, and all these other RVers share their stories and all the stuff that they're doing. I was not allowed to do that because what was happening was really, really bad. I mean, I was essentially paying for this huge paperweight, and it was making me no money. I was not able to use it, and it was not usable in all the capacities. Something was always broken on it, and I was having to drop it off, and it was just not a good situation. So then I had this trailer that we were towing my smart car with, and behind the van, and someone stole the trailer. And so I felt like it was like God telling me to sell that, and then I got the motorhome, and then we ended up with these 2 RVs. And so I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about how that came to be. But during the transition in the van, I was told that I really couldn't say anything. So yeah, I watch all these other RVers, I watch these channels, and several people, maybe you, have even said, "Hey Brandi, I feel like you should be so much bigger than you are, or you make these really good videos." And part of the reason that probably some of my channel has not blown up the way that I would have thought that it could or would, one is consistency. My RV life and everything that's gone on in it has been in shambles, and why I'm making you this video, because I feel like we need to talk about these things. But the NDA almost forced me into silence. Okay, so I couldn't talk about that. Then sold the motorhome. I dealt with a bunch of things with the trailer, and or got the motorhome. Then went from this, essentially a pandemic hit, and I was traveling in my RV, and then ended up stopped in the RV. So the first half of my RV life was like, okay, you had this accident, and you don't really want to talk about things when you're going through like an insurance claim. So it was like, okay, can't talk about the trailer, or I wasn't really planning to talk about my RV life back then, or I didn't know that I wanted to talk about my RV life when I started. Although, if you haven't seen my story, the whole reason that I even started my YouTube channel was because I was in my RV on an island, and I was trying to make my blog, because I go by Blogging Brandi, and I was freaking out because my website developer was like not getting this blog done. He was telling me about, I've got this baby that I'm worried about right now, his sister's baby or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, if you know my story, I had just lost my child. And so he was telling me about him wanting to start his RV life, or this child, and I'm over here just trying to start my life. And all these things are happening and no one can know about it. And I'm telling him I'm freaking out, and I did not expect to cry to tell you this. I'm so sorry. But I'm sitting here freaking out telling him, like, I don't really care about your thing. Like, what about mine? Like, me. You don't even know. Like, you're telling me about this kid. I'm thinking about mine. But I'm in my RV, and all I want to do is make this blog. And it was essentially to heal. But when I was going through all this and I was just talking to him, he was like, oh my God. Have you ever thought about being on YouTube? I've got to drop my eyes. Ugh. He was like, have you ever thought about being on YouTube? And I was just like, no, not really. But then the more that I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I guess I'd be really good on YouTube. So one thing led to another. I started making these YouTube videos, and I found this person, and they were talking about how to run a business or use YouTube for your business. And so I started making random videos. I was making videos about like Las Vegas and traveling, and videos about making websites, and I was making blogs, and I was making like RV videos. And so I was making these RV videos, and actually my boyfriend said something like really mean about when I was making the video. I was like just doing it with my phone. It was kind of like a vlog, but he had made these really professional videos. And this is the moral of the story: when people say things to you, you have no idea how it impacts the entire course of their life and business. So I felt like I was just headed in this really good direction, and then someone said something to me, and it startled my growth. So one was the NDA that had not happened yet, I guess, at the time. But the first thing that happened was my boyfriend had said the thing that he said to me about this RV thing and me making this video, and he was so used to these professional videos, and I was just like, okay, he was just like, this is not how you do it. I think I was getting him to hold the camera or something like that, and he was just getting frustrated. And so he was like, this is not how you do it. You gotta have a setup and a script and blah blah blah. And so I'm just trying to make vlogs. I was not scripting them, kind of like this video. It's not scripted, but it startled me. It made me delete all the videos that I had made, and I didn't share them. And so it was just a disaster is what it turned into looking back. Even though I thought I was doing something good, it would have been better for me to leave those RV videos up there and not delete them, because what they would have became now is so much more crazy. And also I wouldn't have had this split life, or when I did split it, it would have been more seamless. So I started out as Blogging Brandi, Blogging Brandi, but I go by Blogging Brandi, so blogging with a G. And I started that about a year ago. I was rebranding. So essentially a lot of my social media, I'm like trying to drag the followers over, but that's my personal channel. So you can also follow me at RVersity for all my RV content. Not that I don't share some of that on my Blogging Brandi stuff, but Blogging Brandi is more of where I can share like, pretty much anything, okay? Anything about city life, and not just van life and trailer life, but behind the scenes stuff, like Birdie's birthday, and I went to 5 countries in 5 weeks and things like that. And so not just RV life. So I had the NDA, I had some things that my boyfriend said to me, and then I also was going through, so I'm RVing through all of this. That was the travel trailer. Then I got the vans, which was the NDA. And then I got my motorhome and was going through, obviously, things with the motorhome. But when I wish that I could post, like, all these things as they were happening. I look at all these other RVers that are posting on social media and saying, like, look at me, look at what happened to me. But I was just scared that they were not going to fix my RV or not going to do the things that they were promising me if I didn't keep quiet about this situation, or that they could come and potentially sue me or damage my brand and business that I had if I didn't keep quiet about this situation. So, hey, who's chewing over there? Is someone chewing? my life. Again, 5 dogs and 1 cat, if you don't know about that. birdiesdoghouse.com. Find out all about that. The other thing that happened to me when a pandemic hit is things started to go stationary. I told you this video is a little bit all over the place, but this is literally like my life. But my things started to go stationary. So I went from traveling to parking my RV, and I've been in the same place in my travel trailer for almost 5 years, and then we have the van. So sold my motorhome, was thinking that was going to be done, and then ended up with 2 more RVs, and that was not part of the plan. So if you haven't seen the updated version of my story, I shared that on my Blogging Brandi channel. Again, why my life feels like in 2 separate places, because it wasn't all about RV life. It was kind of like, hey, why I'm not necessarily always RVing all the time. And I shared the first version here a couple years ago, and then I shared an updated version the beginning of this year on this channel, or on my other channel. So I'll put links to both versions of my story so you can check those out below this video. But I landed in one place for a while, and so it was going from from traveling all the time in my motorhome to parking the motorhome and not moving. And so I wanted to sell it. But during that time, I started living stationary, and I felt like, okay, well, I'm not traveling. I can't talk about my RV life. And then I started to talk about my stationary RV life and living in the RV park, or I refer to as a trailer park. And then I started getting these like threats, should I say, on. And I had to turn the heat off in here to be able to record this for you, because the blower blows and then you can't hear me. So it's really cold in here, and that might be why the dogs are running around. But I talked about my RV life, or I wanted to share about my RV life, and I would get these ugly text messages and threats, and I have so many of them about the first time I called this my stationary RV life. I called it a trailer park because that's what people refer to it as, and also what I would probably term it as. But you have RV parks, trailer parks, mobile home parks. Sometimes they're like all one and the same. So I referred to it as a trailer park, and I got this ugly string of text messages about, you know, if I don't like it, I can just leave, and pretty much threatened to kick me out. I've been threatened to get kicked out over so many things, and I don't really share those because, one, I'm like scared to share it, but then also it's like, if I were to share that, my channel would probably blow up and I'd go super viral. And so I also am not like trying to damage my brand or like take people down, but it does make me feel silenced. It makes me feel like I can't be consistent with my content. It makes me feel like I can't be the person that I want to be. And it drives me into this like secrecy, okay? And it really bothers me because these people come at me, but they don't understand that you're damaging me. You're damaging my brand. No one's trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to tell the truth. I'm just trying to tell my story of how I see it. And I want other people to feel that. I don't want to polish things and make it look pretty all the time when it's not. Because if I would have known the things I know right now, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm at. Okay? And half the things wouldn't happen to me, and I wouldn't have lost so much money. So you get to keep making money, but you're telling me to be quiet, and I'm not supposed to be making any kind of money. So again, I would get these threats on my phone or calls or whatever, and I have so many of them, but it would be like, we complained about the electricity and we got threatened to get kicked out, and then we would have these horrible neighbors that would move. I had a convicted felon that lived across from me. They had just gotten let out, and I'm not trying to judge, okay? I'm like, if you're a convicted felon and you watch me, I'm mad love, okay? I'm so glad that you're able to like be out and watch me, and hopefully you want to get into RV life. But this person was doing illegal things around me and in front of me, and they were up all night long, thumping, and just, it was not a good situation. And even come to find out, like, all the weird things, this person was living here under someone else's name, and it was just like, okay, this is weird. And I don't know, there's just so many things. And then I talked about like that people would get free checks, or that I felt guilty for leaving the RV park or trailer park, because I was hoping that, you know, when I sold my motorhome, that was going to be the thing that happened. And I felt guilty because there were some people that live in the RV park that are not living there by a want. they're living there out of a need, okay? Because I get it. People live in their RV park for different reasons, or they RV for different reasons, and stationary RV for different reasons. So I referred to some of those things, and then again, we complained about the electricity, got threatened to get kicked out, complained about the neighbor. We were accused of being like racist and hypocrites and threatened to get kicked out. And then we had some other crazy, like 50 party ragers outside for over 12 hours straight. And we complained about the fact that these people were like throwing rocks, and this person was screaming out loud how they were so bleeping drunk, and there was kids outside, and it was just so wild to watch this go down. And I actually have video of my landlord like standing there watching it, or at least should have been watching it, and you can just see them in the background. They're oblivious to what's going on. And when we complain or say anything, then we're told that we're the bad people and that we should just deal with it, and that there's nothing wrong with having music on, and that it's not too loud. But also, the one thing I want to bring up is like the people that threaten me are not people that live in the RV park. Like, they own it, but they don't live there, so they don't actually have to be subject to the same things as anyone else. And in normal RV parks are the ones that I've been in, you always have like someone that's there, and at least usually the people that own it live there. But if they don't, there would be like someone there to call, or that they always have like security or someone watching or someone doing something. And so there's just so many things that go on behind the scenes. If you've ever seen that show Below Deck, they need to have like Below RV Park or Trailer Park Behind the Scenes or TB Talk or something like that, because there is so much craziness that goes on at the RV parks and trailer parks that you don't get to see, that I don't share with you, that I was like, oh my god, if I shared this, it would get wild. And so then I said something about like the cops were coming to the RV park in one of my videos, and then I was threatened about like, I can't believe you say those things about me or this place or whatever. And it's like, ugh. And it's just, I felt silence. So if I would talk or make a video, I felt like I'm just sitting here, people want to know, and it's not like I'm saying, hey, look at this place and don't go there. It was more of, hey, this is my experience, or examples of things that you want to look out for. Or it wasn't like I shared these all the time. I was just sharing vlogs about my life that were going on, and I usually didn't even show videos of anything. It was just like me here in my RV talking. So again, I'm very careful about what I share online, but sometimes I just think, man, if I really did share what happened and tagged the people and the locations, and I don't even know if it's legal, like half the things that have been said or done to me. But I've thought about that too. It's like, what if you contact somebody and say like, hey, is this even like legal? Because it has impacted my life and my business and stunted my growth and caused me to not be consistent and forced me into like this secrecy and not sharing things because I feel like I'm not allowed to, or if I do that, I'm going to get threatened and it's going to impact my business in some way. So it's like these people threaten me into secrecy from NDAs and like this landlord tenant thing, and again, why I want my own land, my own RV park, a place that I can potentially bring other people to. I need to be the landlord, you know what I'm saying? I need to be making the rules and regulations. That's how this world works, because if you know, I'm a quitter. I don't have bosses. Like, I'm not really one to follow rules and regulations. And I really actually don't even complain unless something impacts me or affects me, okay? So my biggest thing is like noise and chaos. And if it's bothering me, then yeah, I don't want to deal with it. And I don't know why I have to. But again, I get some people RV out of necessity. Some people RV out of their want and their need. And then, you know, there's those people that are kind of in between. And so the other reason that I feel like I'm not as big as I could be or don't share things in real time is for protection of me, protection of the places that I'm at, where I'm, like if I'm living stationary, obviously I don't want to post like, hey, here's where I live, or here's where we're at in the van, or here, you know, I don't want to put something in real time. But that also has stunted my growth, because not posting in real time causes me not to share things, and then I feel so behind. So yeah, when I was forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement, it was like 2 years of my RV life that I couldn't talk about. And so by the time you get to talk about it, or you want to talk about it, it's kind of like it's past. And it's like, oh, should I share this now? Or how do I share this now? Or how do you even catch up on all of that content, and all those pictures and all of those things? Like, how do you put that together in a pretty little package and give it to you? And so again, I haven't shared the trip that we took to go get the van when we sold the motorhome, and we flew 2,000 miles away with 2 dogs and a cat, and we drove the van back. Like, I haven't even shared that on this channel or anywhere, but I feel like it's so valuable because I literally vlogged the whole trip until we got to this RV park, and Negative Nancy came out when we were in Las Vegas, and she actually says something like, oh, this motorhome, we wanted to park somewhere, and we didn't want to walk because we were in the van, but we didn't have an extra car. So every day we were gonna have to drive the van out 5 miles an hour from the back of the mile-long RV park and go to the front to do anything, or take the dogs, or do it, or anything. So this lady, she had something, we said something like we wanted to move spots, and then we were in the van, not the motorhome, but she didn't know that. Well, she did know that, but she didn't know that we just had a motorhome before that. And so she made some comment when we wanted to move the van about like, oh, well, I would have helped you out if you were in a motorhome because it would have been more expensive versus a van. And I was like, well, we just sold our motorhome, we just bought this van. But she like talked down to us like we were demoted to van life. And I was thinking, well, girl, we got another trailer back home and so many other things that you probably wish you had. But I don't really say things like that, and I don't come off like that, but it just made me go into silence. So I was like vlogging this trip, and then I was scared to talk anymore. And I wasn't even doing it in real time. I just felt, she made me feel silent. So people like come at me, and then it makes me feel like, oh, if I talk or do anything, then I can't, it makes me pause, okay? And so protection of my space, my time, people around me. Some people probably don't want to be on camera. I try to protect and not just put like my whole life out there either, because I do want to say that I feel so blessed, and I love my boyfriend of 9 years. I love my family. I'm so blessed that I still have parents that are alive, and I have lost some, but again, you know, I grew up from a divorced family, so probably why my life feels so split. It's like I always have these double holidays, double everything. It's like, whose family do you go to? Which parent do you spend time with? And I was making these videos, and I actually mentioned, you know, my dad kind of like called me a drifter once when I talked about the RV life. And so like, he doesn't get it. He's been here, he's visited my RV, and he likes it, but it's not his thing, you know? So these people talking to me, it kind of made me feel pushed into this silence. So catching up feels really hard. Like, I don't know how to catch up on my content. So I just feel that at some point I made a transition in my business, and part of it comes from back when I started my YouTube channel. I found this girl, and she taught you how to sell yourself on YouTube, and it was like how to sell your business, but I wasn't necessarily trying to sell my RV life. I was making videos about Vegas and vlogs and websites and just whatever was going on at the time. And so I wish that I just would have kept everything on that channel and then developed from there and changed my name from there and all of that, because I've literally had to start over from scratch with my name, Blogging Brandi, a year ago, even though I have followers on all those other channels, and I could have just changed the name. But it's like, now that you've done it, it's kind of like hard to go back. So you can follow me as Blogging Brandi, BLOGGINGBRANDI, and you can follow me as RVersity, RVersity. Hopefully I spelled that right. But again, links to all that stuff in the description below, and you can head over to RVersity.com or even bloggingbrandi.com. But what happened is I found this chick when I was doing my YouTube videos, and she was teaching me how to make these YouTube videos and sell yourself. Like, I would be like, hey, go download this thing, download my download below, and not just make a video to make a video, but essentially tell people, hey, subscribe to my channel, and that you can take my course, or you can book a call with me, or you can shop my store, or you can take my webinar. And so it was a way for me to share my products and services with you. And so I took that from my Blogging Brandi business stuff to my RVersity channel. And what happened was, at some point though, this person went from was selling this course, and I wish they just would have taught me how to sell, which that they did. I'm thankful for that. But they went from selling this course on how to grow a YouTube channel to selling this course that I didn't really know I was kind of getting into about how to create a course. So then they told you to sell this course for like a really high ticket item. So when I started RVersity years and years ago, I planned for it to be a website or a place that you could go, because when I was on this island, this guy was talking to me, and he was like, telling me when he started this blog about how he would do these membership websites. And so I don't know, kind of like, I think that's kind of where it started. But so I wanted to make a membership website, not a course. But this person kind of like just dropped off selling one product and went straight for selling this course. And so they were telling me, oh, you have to sell this course, and you need to get the sales team, and you should sell it for this really high ticket. And so it was kind of like causing this problem in my relationship, should I say. Because relationship in all kinds of ways, my RV life, my relationship, my family life, but it went from trying to hire a sales team, and essentially like that's eventually what it was going to be. But I would literally pull my RV over and park on the side of the interstate to talk to people, and then sometimes they wouldn't show up, or I'd be like, I'd make my boyfriend put his whole life on hold for me to take these sales calls, or to take like a Zoom call or something. And then I was doing like 2 times a week, and then I was like, wow, we're supposed to be RVing and having this beautiful life and traveling, but I'm supposed to be taking these Zoom calls twice a week, and then not just hosting calls twice a week, but also posting, I was posting content, but I was then posting videos, but hosting these calls twice a week for my community, but then, and consulting calls, but then also taking sales calls. And then if I wasn't going to take the sales calls, then I should hire people to take the sales calls. And I was like, whoa, I'm not trying to hire a team. Like, I've always had businesses that were behind the scenes. I started a reselling business. That's how I quit my 6-figure job. And I was in finance, if you don't know that. And I used to cut hair and do all that stuff. And so I have like a degree in finance and a bunch of fun stuff that you probably didn't know about. Series 7, 66, and insurance license, annuities. But I created an app. I've sold courses. I've sold my services and skills. I've helped other brands and businesses. I've made videos for other brands and businesses. I've helped them create their websites and do social media marketing for them. I've sold my own merch, meaning like branded merchandise, and still do. I've done affiliate marketing, coaching, courses, apps, so much more. And so I'm probably repeating myself, but I just feel like I took all the things that I had built up until that point, and I threw them away, because this person was like, well, you need to have one channel and one thing that you focus on. You shouldn't do all those other things. You're going to confuse people, whatever. So that's what I did. I literally deleted half my email list, deleted my website for Blogging Brandi, and only focused on RV life. And it's like, I just threw everybody else away. And that was a horrible idea. I almost just broke my business, broke half my brand, and I don't want to say I don't wish that I would have ever followed this person. I just want to say I wish this person would teach people how to sell, not just how to sell a course or how to sell a YouTube channel, because it caused so much chaos in my life. And actually, like, when I bought into them, they weren't very clear on what you were buying into. And so even their their program and all that stuff, it's like changed so much since then. And so literally, unless you have like $7,000 or $10,000 to give them, like you can't even talk to them or work with them. And so like this person that would tell me to sell this course, but the funny thing is, like, they don't even take sales calls. They literally have like little minions and a whole team to do it for them. And so if you've ever booked a sales call with me, I just want you to know that's where it comes from. Is this person was like, you need to sell this course, this high ticket item, and it's better to have less people take this high ticket item and get more of your time. And it's great. I'm so happy that I do the coaching and I have my course and all that fun stuff. But what I really wanted from the beginning was a membership. And so I would take these sales calls, and it's literally like, my boyfriend would be like, this is not fun. Why do you have to take these calls all the time? So then I would cancel one call, and I only did one. I went from 2 calls a week to 1 call a week. And then, you know, people will get tired of showing up for stuff too. You know, not everybody can show up for every call all the time. And this person was like, oh, you should do 1 call during the day and 1 call at night. And then I would find that some people, like, nobody would even show up during the day. It was kind of weird. Not weird, because they probably work. So that's why I went from posting like my videos at night. I mean, yeah, posting my videos during the day to posting videos at night, or even on the weekends or off times, because people that watch my content usually watch my videos when they're not at work. I would assume maybe they're when they're at home, or maybe you listen to my stuff in the car. I don't know. So again, I know I'm probably rambling, but I just feel like we need to talk on some things that I want to tell you. And so I made some videos about like, oh, I'm sorry, and I'm doing RVersity beta testing. And so I really want you to know that's kind of like there's a shift and things that are changing. But I felt like this course was ruining my relationship. And so I took some time off over the summer, and I went to 5 countries in 5 weeks that I haven't even got to share, and I want to share, but I probably wouldn't share it on this channel. I'd probably share it on my Blogging Brandi content. But I went to Cuba and Bahamas and Puerto Rico and then Jamaica, and also came back here to the States and went to Washington, D.C. and some other fun places. So been to several countries over the last, in 5 weeks. I don't want to say over the last 5 weeks, but it was literally a week at each place. And so I had to leave the dogs behind. I had to leave my RV behind, and it was fun. It was refreshing, but it also was a reminder of, you know, there's more to me than just my RV. But it made me think, like, okay, that these phone calls, that thing was ruining your RV life and your relationship, and it just put a strain on things, should I say. It made it not fun, because it's like, I want to share about my RV life. I want to put it out there, but I kind of am like, okay, how do you catch up? Where else should you share it? Should you only make YouTube videos? You can't focus on every platform all the time. And then if I post in real time right now, it's like I talk about my van or my trailer, but I never talked about my motorhome. And so, yeah, it's like I shared stuff now, but it's like, what about the rest of it? It's like there's this gap in my content. So I was not able to pursue all my passions, I guess, over the last couple of years that I wanted to pursue. And so I've had a loss of creativity. I've had lots of calls, but I felt like people weren't able to work with me, and that's why I wanted to start offering like this membership, this beta test, this thing that I'm talking about. I haven't really released it, but I really wanted to share, like, hey, there's so much more to me than my RV, or there's so much more that I've wanted to say to you or share with you, but I'm not sure where to share it. And even when I share it online, it's like it just goes into the abyss. So also, it's like, you need to know that I make money from multiple different ways. And I also didn't tell you I wrote a book. I wrote a book too. But sometimes I feel like I'm rambling, and I have multiple homes and multiple RVs, and it wasn't what I planned. This wasn't what I planned, but you don't really plan for these things. And I just feel like I'm living this double life. That's what I feel like. And so how do I share everything? How do I catch up? What do I share? When do I share? Where do I share everything? I told you I wanted your comments below. I want to hear from you. I want you to become part of my community over at RVersity and be a member. And I just feel like you never see me. Like I have this secret life that I never share, I guess. And so another thing, I don't know if I said this, I'm so exhausted. It's It's super early in the morning. I started this video at 2:23 a.m. But I just wanted to take some time off to rethink, and that's what I did over the summer, over a lot of time that I haven't posted on this channel, over posting on my other channel. And I want to be more alive or more present, but I just feel like I want to do it in a private space, not necessarily all over YouTube or all over social media. And so that's why I wanted to create my membership, and the thing that I originally wanted to create, which is educational content, as well as like a place to hang out with me. So it's more than just a course. It's more of you're supporting me, and I don't really know what it's going to be. I've thought about doing stickers or fun things to my members, and I want to do Q&As and Zoom calls, and so it's something completely different than a course that you would take. It's literally access to private content, exclusive content, educational content, and fun content that will help you in your RV life and on your journey, but also a way for you to get to hang out with me and go behind the scenes with me. So it's just, to me, a happy medium balance of something. But I do feel a little bit discredited and sleazy about going from offering a really high ticket item to offering a low ticket item, but essentially it is something completely different from the other thing. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. And then, I always feel like I have to post videos instead of posting blog posts. But again, I feel like these videos get to more people than my blog posts do. My program, I've mentioned this, but it's in beta. So things might be broken. They may not be working. I made a whole video about the beta testing of it. If you go to RVersity.com/join, you will see the membership and all the things I'm talking about. I made a video about like what beta is, but essentially it just means that it's not perfect. It's something new that I'm doing, and I'm working out the kinks. So I also, let's see, what else? I feel like it's costing me. It's cost me focus. It's caused me to forget stuff. It's caused me to push stuff off, to minimize things, to make things smaller. And also it's cost me, like, I'll be over here posting a video or worried about posting a video or doing something or not doing something. But then I have this other thing that I'm paying for, or a system that I'm paying for, by either not talking about my content or forced to be selling just this like course thing. And I hope that makes sense, like when I say that. And if you're a follower of mine, then you do know. You're like, man, I've talked to this chick, she used to sell this course. I do sell a course still. I have RVersity and I have RVing for bosses. So I sell a course all about like how to get into RV life, my full-time RV life formula. And then I also have a course about RVing for bosses and like how you would start your own website and social media and put all those things together, like how I'm talking to you now. But those things start to become these huge endeavors, and I didn't want my whole life to revolve around getting on sales calls and selling these courses. So I've tried to readjust things in my business, and it's not perfect yet, and I don't know exactly where everything is going yet, but I'm on a path. Okay. And so I just felt like God has led me and told me to do this other thing, or the thing that I wanted to do, or where I should have started. And so that's kind of like where I'm coming at this from. So again, it is freezing in here. I do not have the heat on. It's freezing in here. And I just feel like I'm like rambling to get this out. But all of this has added up, and I feel like I'm paying for things that I never needed. And I was following what other people have either stunted me or pushed me into. And it's put a damper on me enjoying my RV life and like, what I even want to do. And my videos are so out of order, and I feel like I've been trying to also do this behind the scenes Brandi and also rebranding myself at the same time. So it's so much, and I wasn't sure kind of at the beginning of the year where I was going to take like this channel, and I feel led in this way. And so again, I have separate YouTube channels. I've been rebuilding what I've broken. My course was like this constant update. I feel like people are like, oh, why are you not bigger than you are? Well, there you go. That's probably a lot of the reasons why I'm not bigger than I am, and why I just feel stunted in my growth. And also, like I said, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And don't look necessarily at the followers, how many people have. You should also consider impressions and views and clicks, things that you probably never see. So just because someone only has 50 subscribers on their brand new social media account that they just started, that somebody mentioned to me, doesn't mean that they don't have 50,000 people viewing it or liking their content just because someone doesn't follow them. But YouTube, I just feel like people are able to find me. And then also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I had several Facebook groups too. So I'd started some Facebook groups, and then I felt led to like start another Facebook group, and things just got really weird. And so I've been trying to like pull some people from RVersity over to my Blogging Brandi, and then I was trying to rebuild my systems and this massive monster that I had created, but then kind of like deleted, but then tried to get back from both on my Blogging Brandi side and my RVing side. And so, yeah, if you want to find me online, there's a couple places I'd tell you to go. RVersity.com, bloggingbrandi.com, and I mentioned birdiesdoghouse.com, which is where I share about Birdie and the dogs, and I would like to share more of, but again, I just feel so behind on my content, and that I feel pressured. I was only allowed to talk about my RV life, so I never talked about my dog's life. I never talked about adopting my dog and how I went through all that foster and how that helped me heal from all of the other craziness that was going on, or how I lost my dogs during all this and how I wasn't able to be with them because of my RV life and what was going on in my RV life. It was crazy. It's been so crazy. And so my life is unpredictable. It's been unpredictable. I didn't plan on having 2 RVs. I planned on just supporting other people on their journey. And it's just turned into something, I guess, a little bit crazy. And I don't feel like I have a home. You know, I don't feel like I have this one home, this one place. But whenever I was doing my Zoom calls and having live events and hosting my content in a different way, it just made me feel more alive, like I had a tribe, like I had people behind me. And at this point, I just feel like I broke all that and I'm restarting it. And so I created this RVersity membership that I've mentioned, but I really want to stress that to you. It's RVersity.com/join, but it's my membership. It's where you can get exclusive content and access to me. It doesn't mean that you can't still take one of my courses or shop my store and check out some of the tools and resources that I've put out there. I have merchandise out there where you can get like RVersity stickers, and I want to do like camping merchandise, more of like, you know, kind of like, I don't know if you can see that pillow back there, but where it says home is where you park it, things like that. But I have merchandise for sale. You can book calls with me if you want to talk directly to me one-to-one and you don't want to wait for like a group call. But I just wanted it to be more of just, instead of just like hanging out with Brandi, I also wanted it to be like educational content. So it's really you unlocking like a back door to me and my website, but strictly a lot about my RV life. And I also have a group on Discord. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a text group. So it's not just a Facebook group. I do have an RV Facebook group. I even have a free one that you can join. I'll put a link to it below this video. You can check that out. But I also have this community where you have access to me. Okay, so it's not just you and like these other RVers. It's like you and me. And so you can text and you can chat with me, and you really have a lot of one-on-one access to me. But it's not this forced thing, and I'm not showing up every single week on phone calls or feeling forced to do that. It's more of, hey, we're going to have these hangouts. And I do want to do some live events like in person. I just have to figure out how to work that out. I'd like to do that. But I do see all these other RVers and they say, hey, come support me and subscribe to my channel, but, you know, give me a fee and stuff like that. And I don't feel right doing that like here on YouTube and saying like, hey, sign up and subscribe and pay me. But I do feel right if I'm giving you content and something more than just me. So that's why I wanted to create this. That's why I wanted to talk to you. I feel like there's so much that I haven't told you. I feel like this video is like so all over the place, but I really felt like we needed to talk and that I needed to tell you some of those things and kind of like why I feel like, you know, I'm not married and why we don't have this one life right now and why it's like I have this city life and I have my RV life and then I have the van life and the dog life, and you never get to see it all in real time, or I haven't shared a lot of it, is because I just feel like, how do I catch up? How do I share that now? But I'm working on it. I do have other videos coming out. I love to create videos. Sometimes I get so tired of editing them, but also by joining me and supporting me, that means that it allows me to create this content without so much of like a sales aspect to it, because I'd rather people subscribe to me and support me because they're like, I love that chick and I just want to be part of her community and meet other people like her and like me, versus me trying to sell you this one item that you should go buy. And so I have all those things. I'm excited about this. I'm nervous about this. I was scared to make this video, but I feel sleazy not making this video. And if you haven't seen a lot of the other videos that I've made recently, I will just pray that you go watch them. If you haven't seen my story, I pray that you go watch it. If you haven't subscribed or liked this video, subscribe to this channel, or like this video, subscribe to this channel, and tap that little bell icon so you're notified the next time that I publish. I'm thankful that you follow me. I'm thankful that you've watched this video up until this point. I love you. I want to share more with you. Working through that, but I just feel like I feel more alive when I have this tribe behind me, when I have my people with me, and when there's not all this noise also from like social media, which is why I kind of wanted it to be on my website and this private chat community, which I don't not also have social media and all of that too, where people can connect, but I really wanted this like one-to-one connection, because I used to have this Slack group with my clients and one of my courses when I did RVing for bosses, and it just made everything so much more fulfilling. And so I wanted to give you a way to connect with me. I wanted to give you a way to support me and me to support you. And yeah, why do I feel guilty for even asking that of you, I guess. But I just feel like this is the direction that I need to go with my channel, my content. And some of it almost feels like a demotion, but Jesus was demoted. People were demoted. And if you want to rise up, you got to be willing to go down. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for me sharing my story on this channel years and years ago, or maybe a year or two ago, I never would have even grown to where I've at. I wouldn't have met half the people that I've met, and I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed that you follow me. I'm so blessed that you listen to me ramble. I'm so blessed that you follow me in my RV life, and there's so much more that I want to share with you, and that I feel like I'm forgetting that you just don't know about me, and it just, I want to be there more present with you. And so I guess this is my way of doing it. So again, I know I'm rambling. I don't know why I feel like I have to be perfect when I show up for you. I feel like there's a lot of you that are like, I just love this chick when she shows up real. And yeah, so I love you. I thank you for watching this. I pray you will join me on the other side and check out all the things that I mentioned, become a member of my community, and I'll see you in the next video. Until the next time, I will put links to everything I mentioned down below, some playlists, some other fun stuff that you can watch. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. Again, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video, or I'll see you on the other side even sooner, maybe today, in my community.